Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We're in the book of Acts, chapter 10, verses 17 through 33. Now, we talked about how Peter has this dream while he's staying at the smelly house of Simon the Tanner, and a dream about how God doesn't make anything that's unclean. When after he wakes from his dream, he has three men downstairs knocking on the door, as the Lord has told him, and they have been sent by Cornelius, and they say, Cornelius is a man who reveres God, who is seeking God, and he has asked for you to come. So Peter invites them to stay for the night, and then the next day they set out and they go over to Caesarea, which is really a Roman city. And there's Cornelius, and he is an influencer. He has gathered all kinds of people to meet Peter. And Peter, when he arrives there, Cornelius gets down on his knees and honors him. And Peter says, "Oh, don't do that. I'm not God." But then right away, Peter opens his big mouth and talks about how he is somehow better than Cornelius. And I think this whole passage really is about the human barriers that we set up between ourselves as human beings, trying to show ourselves as more righteous, somehow better than others. And there really is, within this story, there's the issue of race. Because Peter says, well, as a Jew, I shouldn't even be here because I'm circumcised and I'm under the covenant and I'm not even supposed to be in the same room with you. And Cornelius sort of says, yeah, I got you, but would you just tell us what God had to say? And the truth is that Peter really is sort of oblivious because Roman culture looked down on the Jews. And so they both have this sense of superiority over one another. And both of them are trying to move beyond the barriers that their society puts in place, but which God tears down. As Paul writes in Ephesians about how God has brought down the dividing wall between the circumcised and the uncircumcised. For God, there is no wall between believers and unbelievers. He wants to save everybody. Everyone belongs to him. He's the Lord of all, as Peter will preach in the next passage. And so I think that's the thing, is that God really just doesn't have time for these silly games we play. And the other thing is that God is working through people. Cornelius, over and over again, demonstrates his willingness to follow the leading of God. He has an angel come to him. He tells Peter, 3 days ago, I had an angel tell me to send for you. I don't know who you are, but I sent for you. And we're ready to hear what you have to say. And really, that's a prayer as Christians we should be praying is, God, who do you want me to meet that you want to work through to reach other people? As Christians, oftentimes we are cut off from unbelievers, but there's somebody that God wants to use to reach new people. Who is that person in your life? I'd encourage you to pray for that, because God is always ready to move us beyond human barriers. Well, thanks, my friends. Have a blessed day.